Welcome to Intake Talk Show. This is Bertha's Corner. If you haven't already, why don't you hit that subscribe button and join the family? So how do you deal with everyday life? As one who has, and I know you, the viewers don't know that. I've known you for a while. And I've known you for a while. But how do you deal with everyday life knowing all that you experienced and still be able to put one foot in front of the other?
I'm grateful for life itself every day. I really don't dwell on the bad things that happen in my life. I had to look back at the things that have been accomplished, and I don't really pay attention to that because I have so much more to do. My driving force is, as long as I have breath in my body, I'm going to give God praise. I'm going to continue doing what He's given me to do, and to help somebody and to finish the goals. I'm trying to die empty. Everything that's been given to me, I want to do before I leave this earth. That's my driving for every day.
Okay, so you know I'm coming for you, right? Because what you just said to me, yeah. Because what you just said to me, Elaine, is so stereotypical. Because let me help you real quick, because we're doing real talk here. Is that we try to distract ourselves, and while while we all want to live in a sense where we're emptied out versus in the sense that we want to give all that we can give, still as human beings, if you empty out too much, you're going to die before it's your time, or at least lose your mind. And that's why self-care is so important.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I am.
Okay.
I am.
All right. Because self-care is very important. And I think as spiritual people, we tend to use that term and people take it out of context, hearing us say, well, I just want to empty myself out. Well, if you complete yourself altogether, reality is that you're going to complete yourself altogether. Because you're not caring for you. You're not taking the time to sit down and say, okay, I've put out, now I need to replenish. Because even me as a therapist, after certain sessions, I need some woosah.
Of course.
Yeah, and so, yeah, we put out as human beings, but it's important too to take time and say, okay, let me replenish. Because again,
I do that. I have to. Being an empath, and you know what that is, I soak up everybody's stuff. So I need time away from people. I need a mental day off, which I do take. I have learned through all the stuff that I've gone through, you have to take care of yourself. I've got to take care of me. I look at different ways to, different food groups and, different things. Not exercise like I should, but there are other things that I do for me. I relax. I enjoy life. I enjoy each moment that I can. I take time for me. I have to, because I have to, I put out a lot all the time. So I have to regenerate. Things that have to be regenerated. And I have to cut off social media, not talk to people, just cut it off. And being inside, I tell you what, they don't know. I said, shoot, I can stay in the house a month and you won't see me. But I need that for me, because I feel other people's energy, their emotions, their illnesses and ailments in their body. I smell a lot of different things. This is a lot. So it's draining, even though people are inside right now. The people that I come in contact with, I feel that stuff regardless. And then, anyway, I take care of me. Yes, ma'am, I take care of me.
So I'm smiling because, and again, it's a It's the issue of understanding multiculturalism. You just said, and earlier you said you were a prophetess, and you said, I smell a lot of things and I feel people, all of that. A lot of people, if I was a serious psychologist, without understanding culture, I would say that you had some schizophrenia.
They think that
No, because I would say that you had some schizoaffective disorder, because what you're saying to me is that I can feel people's energy and I can smell certain things from people and I pick up certain things, and that you can hear, God speaking. And so without being a person who understands culture, that also can be misinterpreted as schizoaffective. So I'm good. I'm glad you're bringing all of this up. I didn't know, I wasn't even aware that you were talking about this. But since you are, and I think it's important, just in case somebody is, some others are watching, that a lot of times as people of color, we're also misdiagnosed by schizoaffective disorder, because we do believe in being able to communicate, many of us, with our ancestors, or in Christianity, that you can hear the voice of God and different other things. And so a lot of time that's taken out of
context. Huh?
Yeah. Without understanding culture.
You told me to be me. I'm being who I'm is.
I want you to be you, darling. But at the same time, I want to make sure that while I'm talking to you, that I don't just leave stuff out there in the atmosphere and people don't understand. Right. Because this is a show on mental health. And there are a lot of issues that we can touch on regarding mental health. But I think from an African-American woman to another African-American woman, that we can hit on some issues that a lot of people are afraid to hit on and not be afraid to deal with it. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So you just hit on a lot of stuff that I just wanted to make sure I clarify and say that in some arenas, when people don't understand culture, they would see that as, okay, there's something wrong with her. But I understand what you're saying when you say you can sense things, but other people may not get that. So if you had to do it all over again, would you sit down and speak to a mental health professional?
Knowing what I know now from being with Bertha Barrett and intake, it would be vitally important for me to speak with a counselor to help me. Still, it's an ingrained thing. You'd be like, okay, you can help me with what? How are you going to help me? What am I? Okay, up front, you're okay. Your sign is on the door. What are you going to help me with? How are you going to help me cope with the issues? And there are a lot of things that I need to get out, and I want to know. Well, one, is this going beyond these walls? Because I got some stuff. I ain't gonna name no names, but some things need to come out. It's vitally important to speak to a counselor. Yes, that's very important. I learned that through the things that I've gone through. You have to talk to somebody, and it's not always a pastor.
Let me first address: is it going past these walls? So
well, I know it's not. I'm just saying that's what I've been thinking.
But a lot of people have that concern. So, and a lot of therapists have to help people understand confidentiality and the limitations to confidentiality. And a lot of that deals with, and a quick version of it is, anything that you say to me in these sessions are confidential unless you tell me that you're going to hurt yourself or someone else, and unless you tell me that someone has abused you physically or sexually. And in certain instances, if the court subpoenas information, and that's a quick paraphrase, but it doesn't specifically go that way. And so we have to make sure that our clients understand that. that there is confidentiality involved, but there are limitations to confidentiality. And we as therapists create, hopefully, a safe space for our clients to be able to sit down and share with us once we've built that rapport with them. And so you said it, it's ingrained. It's ingrained in a lot of people of color, that sitting down talking to a mental health professional is like, what can you do for me? Like, yeah, you have the sign on the door, but if I go, what can you help me with? Well, there's a lot of things that mental health professionals can help you with. And just the ideal of being able to identify the emotion that you're feeling. Because some people experience anger. They say I'm angry when in fact they're hurting.
Yeah.
And so unless you can identify what it is that you're feeling, you'll never be able to process what you're feeling. And so mental health professionals help you have the ability to, first of all, identify, which a lot of people can't do because we weren't taught to identify what we were feeling. We were taught to pay attention to everything everybody else was feeling. And so I think that's important to mention, that as mental health professionals, those are some things that we do, and I can go down a whole laundry list of some other things. So I wanted to address that too, because again, you're bringing up a lot of stigmas. Yeah, you're bringing up a lot of you're bringing up a lot of perceptions that people have with therapy, and it's okay because we have to address it. As one who was a PK's child, a pastor's kid, do you think that played a role in this idea with mental health professionals not being able? Okay.
No. What played a role is the environment. When you're, I grew up. Hey, some things people just don't need to know. But look here, I grew up in the hood, and I grew up in the hood, girl. We ran the hood, I was it. I had a nickname. I ain't gonna say that, but anyway, I did have a nickname. I was. It's the environment. It's the environment. It wasn't being a PK kid. It wasn't that. It was the environment and the people that you're around. When you're in the hood, that's the way people talk. I'm like, they get that check because they crazy. They sit at home, do all this. Yeah, could. It wasn't until because I determined I was not going to be a product of that environment, and I always like to learn and just go forward. But yeah, it's always the environment where people get the language from. From being a child of a preacher, you learn to pray. You know where to put your priorities. Whether or not you put them there is a different story. But maintaining day-to-day functions in the hood is survival. And we ain't finna tell somebody we don't know our business. I'm just talking straight up. That's it. Can I be real? We ain't finna go there and tell you all my business.
Okay.
I ain't finna tell you where I stash what, if I stash something. I ain't going there, because that's my business. What you see at school is one thing. What you see out in the neighborhood is another. I ain't finna go to school and tell what I do in the neighborhood. Because at school, you see me as this. You see me as this A student. She is so productive. She is, she's this, she's that. But outside that, prime example. Oh, Lord, that's going too far out of my business. Anyway, I went to Job Corps. That's a long time ago. Went to Job Corps. In Job Corps, I was living in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So there I had a gang. Yeah, I know you don't believe it. I did. I had a gang. I had a little clique. It was all cultures. I had.
Wait a minute, Miss E. Wait a minute.
I know, but
Did you just say
I'm trying to paint the picture.
No. Did you just say you had a gang?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I heard you right. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
Yes. In that gang, I had all cultures. And there were other people who looked out for me who weren't part of my gang. I had my head people. One was a little redhead white girl. One was a black girl. One was Spanish, and one was Italian. But whatever E said, that's what was gonna happen. E, what you want us to do? That's what happened. And then I had the LGBT. Well, you can call them that then. I ain't gonna say what we call them, but anyway, they had my back. So I was one thing in the community of Albuquerque, New Mexico, but to the teachers and the educational staff, I was a star pupil. So I got another face for this and something else for that. So in what we went through, I talked to, if we call them a counselor, we good. But you talking about mental health, we got an issue with that. It's something about mental health that just kind of sets you off another way.
So it's the environment.
It's the environment.
Okay.
I brought that back. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. I really appreciate you. I love you. I do.
So Ms. E, again, with all that you're bringing up, it would take me too long to address everything that you just said.
Well,
but I'm glad you're being honest, because there are a lot of people who attempt to show more than one face. And I think we all do it as human beings, and to an extent, because we have to learn how to, be a certain way in every environment.
Correct.
But it takes a lot too, just to be, I tell people all the time, even with this show, I am the one thing I know I'm a master at is being Bertha. And I'm the best version of Bertha you will ever find. And I'm this way no matter where I'm at. And rarely, and I know you too, because you're this way no matter where you're at, and rarely do you see me change my character. And so I think it's important that we address the fact that many people tend to play these different roles. And unless we know how to make a transition or even just be our authentic self in every role, then sometimes we can lose ourselves.
Of course.
Again, you brought up something about, see, you just messed up my whole thought. You got me having a mental block here on my own mental health show. Like, really?
Oh my God. Why?
It's okay though. One of the things, and I'm proud of this, one of the reasons why I'm doing this show, because I do want to normalize mental health. And that's what that was the point I was getting ready to get at. You say it becomes a lot easier if you say, I'm going to go see my counselor or go see a counselor than to say mental health.
Right.
What I am trying to get people to understand is that, guess what? We all have a mental health. And just like we all have a physical health. And so trying to ignore it is not going to help your mental or your physical. It's just a point.
I just want to see my counselor.
Yeah. Elaine, you can't get around it, baby. Just go say mental health.
I got my count. Hey, didn't I say I was closer to 60? I'm in that generation. We ain't finna say that.
No.
I'm gonna see my counselor.
The point is, we all have a mental health. And unfortunately, a lot of people take that term mental health and they stigmatize it as crazy. But we all have one.
Yeah, we do.
You can't get around it.
I'm just not gonna say that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see my counselor.
Miss E, because I can't with you right now. You just like, my viewers are gonna be like, really? This is a mental health show? Yeah. So,
Let me ask you something. With me, with all these personalities that I have.
Girl, don't start. Don't
with
start.
all, okay, with all these mental, with all these personalities that I have, is that healthy? Is it healthy to have more than one personality?
See, Elaine, you playing, really?
I'm serious.
Elaine,
Huh?
we all have different roles, darling.
Okay, so why are people gonna
I'm a
react like
mother, I'm a
what's wrong
sister,
with
I'm a friend.
you?
I'm a whole bunch of different roles. I'm a therapist. Elaine, we all have different roles.
Okay then.
But let's not address them as
Oh,
personalities.
okay, okay, that's what it's called. Okay then.
Because if you
Bro.
start addressing many personalities, then your friend here is going to have to get you to go talk to a mental health professional.
Okay, I'll be around the corner.
Okay. Thank you. So, Elaine,
Yes,
you said your daughter encouraged you to go into music.
it is.
Okay. So while you're on the show, why don't you just give the people some of what you do? Because I'm going to be on this interview a little bit too long with you if we don't hurry up and wrap this up.
What? We gotta wrap it up.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I got the words to a song a couple years ago. It's copywritten. Thank God. You know, people always want to steal stuff. But anyway, it's copywritten. And it's addressing a low part in anybody's life where they're looking for something to help them. And I look to the Lord. You look to what's going to aid you and bring you out, not keep you down in what you're in. And it's you loved me. Let me see what I can do. You loved me when I couldn't see my way. You loved me when I felt I couldn't make it through another day. You loved me until I found the strength to live again. You who love me, you love me, you love me. Ooh, Lord. Oh my God.
That was nice, Elaine. That was nice.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to throw this out here. You use creativity. You use being a radio personality, a lot of your creativity to help you cope with many things that you've gone through. And I think that's a very good way of coping because, again, as mental health professionals, believe it or not, as mental health professionals, yeah, we do acknowledge the fact that creativity is one of the greatest ways of coping. But a lot of people don't want to see it that way.
Wow.
They don't want to see that, hey, this is my way of coping and helping me express what it is that I'm feeling. But in fact, that's exactly what it is, using coping skills. At some point, I'm hoping that I can get you to say mental health professional. But I know my work is cut out for me because at some point, I'm hoping to get a lot of people to understand that we all have mental health. And you can go see a counselor and you don't even have to say mental health, but at some point, you're gonna, some point, hopefully, if you're sitting down with a good counselor, they're gonna help you understand that you have a mental health and you can't avoid it. Yeah. So Miss E, I just want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And being so transparent. Again, it would take me all day to hit on everything that you said, and I'm not even going to touch it. But I think it's important for people to hear you talk and see that there are a lot of things that we have to still work through as far as mental health. One thing I commend you on, though, is that on your platform, your radio show, you do address issues, whether you want to say the term or not, you do address issues regarding mental health. And that helps a lot of your listeners. So I applaud you on that.
Thank you.
And hopefully one day I'll get you to say it. But for now, thank you.
I need a mental health counselor.
So thank you, Ms. E, for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having this honest conversation with me. And thank you for making this interview so interesting, because again, one of the reasons behind doing intake is to just normalize mental health, and not not to perceive it so, this thing that we can't talk about, this thing that we can't find interesting and even, laugh about and just have normal conversation with. Because we conversate all the time about going to the doctor because my pressure was high, or going to the doctor because I was having, some stomach issues, but we failed to want to talk about going to see a mental health professional or a counselor.
Go ahead, girl.
Yeah. So thank you for being on the show, and thank you for assisting with normalizing mental health.
I appreciate you doing this show, because it's vitally important. I've watched a few of the shows. They've addressed some issues that I may have had in the past, and then I could see it, like you're saying. People need to see what it is, and they don't recognize they don't recognize what the issue is until it's laid out in front of them. So I appreciate you for doing this show, and also for being a guest on Miss E Spot as well.
All right. So why don't you tell the viewers again how they can find you, dear? Go on and plug so we can get out of here.
You can find me on social media: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Elaine Thomas Music, Miss E Spot. Miss Elaine Thomas is on Twitter, Instagram. Miss E Spot is on Instagram. Oh, Miss Elaine Thomas, MsElainthomas. I tell you what, Google my name, ELAINTHOMAS. Blonde is the signature. Follow me.
All right, so I have to get out of here. Our time is up.
Thank you.
So thank you for coming on the show. But until the next time I see you all, remember, continue to talk about mental health and how to make yours a priority. Thank you. If you're a professional who would like to be on the show, or an individual who has struggled with mental health and would like to be a guest, email us at info@intake.tv.
Follow us on all of our social media platforms.
Okay.
Intake is the place to be.
It's because